news for you, because our next speaker is here to help you master mental resilience and reinvention. Jinene's family, please put your hands together and welcome to our EXPO stage, Diamond Director from United Arab Emirates, Jinane Abou Mrad.
Hi. Hi, everybody. How are you? It's so amazing to be here. It's incredible. Actually, this was a dream of mine, coming all the way from Lebanon, becoming a diamond director in Jeunesse in 4.5 years has been an incredible journey. And today, I'm going to share with you 4 keys to help us how to build an incredible, powerful, resilient mindset. This mindset helped us go through, let's say, an explosion. It helped us go through no gas, no fuel, no credit cards, no money, no US dollars. This is the situation currently now in Lebanon. And the team there is still going stronger and stronger. I do not have just a team in Lebanon, but the same mindset that we applied in Lebanon, we apply everywhere. And I promise you, if you pay attention for the next 12 to 13 minutes, I promise you, this mindset, with a little bit of skills, a little bit of knowledge, and a lot of work, a lot of action, you are going to build a massive business that is indestructible. So if you're ready to be with me, say yes. Are you ready? I need your energy. Say yes. Perfect. So, what does resilience mean? Resilience means that you are able to go through change, go through problems, untouchable, first survive, and then thrive. The first key I'm gonna actually share with you. Mindset and heart set. Everybody talks about the mind, but I took my biggest decisions. I found my why in the heart first, and then in the mind second. Now I need you to say heartbeat. Can you say heartbeat? Heart set. Can you say heart set, guys? Perfect. So, what's the difference? In 2006, I was 20 years old. And in 2006, we had a mini war in Lebanon. I was born in war, but I never experienced war in my adult life. So we went through war, and it was a small war, but it was the first time. It was the first time I see I'm not safe in my own country. And I see for the first time that anything can collapse from one day to another. And for the first time, I had to watch my father. Back then, he was coming close to retirement. My father is a proud man. He's a great man. For me, he's one of the greatest men in existence. He got a PhD from France. He served the government as a teacher in the university all his life. And for the first time, I experienced him standing in line to take his medication. And standing in line to see if he could find bread or not. And standing in line for gas to see if he will find gas or not. And I looked at this and I said, what is this? What is this? And I said, no, 2 things happened that day. 20 years old, 2 things happened that day. First, I said, no one's coming to rescue me anytime. No one is going to rescue me. It's up to me to save myself, and it's up to me to save my family too. I decided I will never, ever, ever be a victim of my circumstances, of my country, of anything that happens to me. I refuse to be a victim. And that is the difference between a dream and standards. I don't really care to listen to people's dreams. What I really want to know is who they are, what are they made of, and what is their own standards. Because these 2 things became my standards. It was not dream, it's basic human rights. It's not my dream to have basic human rights, but it was a standard that I had. And the difference between a standard and a dream, a standard is a must. A dream is a wish until you develop the person you need to be to go after and make that dream happen. So can you say standards with me? That's key number one. Key number two. When I decided to go network marketing, it was my chance. And we failed miserably for 7 consecutive years. The first company was a bad company. The second company, they terminated the Lebanese IP after 3 months. We had 500 people gone from one day to another because we were Lebanese and the company did not want to build in Lebanon. Third company was the biggest disaster of all. We had to go through lawsuits. We had to go through, actually, Gary, my business partner, was arrested in the airport and he was under investigation because of the failure of the third company. And every single time we had to embrace this defeat and we had to think, where's the lesson in this? What am I supposed to learn? And this is the second mindset. I really need you to understand, the bigger the problem, the better the story. When we were down on our knees in failure, I said to him, I'm going to quit. And he said, no, now we have a bigger story. When you go on stage, you're going to have something bigger to say. So the bigger the problem, the better the story. And you're going to have incredible stories. Key number 3, when we decided to find Jeunesse after all the 7 years, and when we decided to start Jeunesse, every single kind of problem started to happen, which brings us to key number 3. And key number 3 is actually developing an attitude called a no problem attitude. Can you say no problem with me? No problem. 2019, a nationwide revolution happened in Lebanon. Actually, I was marching on the street because we thought we were going into freedom. And a few weeks later, the banks closed. If you had $100, you cannot get it out. If you had $10 million, you cannot get it out. So the banks and the government took the people's money. So what did we have to do? What did we have to say? No problem. We'll figure something out. A few weeks after that, the Lebanese pound started to deteriorate. And the value, it lost 150% of its value. And I'm going to tell you what that means. If you are a doctor and you are making $6,000, you sleep one night, you wake up the second night, and you are making $450 just overnight because it lost its value. The basic salary used to be $700. People slept, woke up the second night, and the basic salary was $35. People work now for a month to make $40 a month. So what did we have to say? Interesting, but what do we say? No problem. And then fuel started to run low. Gas started to run low. Electricity started to run low. What happens after the pound deteriorates? US dollars became rare. And it started to be traded only in black market. What does that mean? That means if we want to buy Jeunesse product, we have to call a guy who calls another guy, who calls another guy. They meet you under a bridge or next to a mall. Probably they're armed. And you think to yourself, maybe I should have been armed as well. So you give them the pounds, you take the US dollars, and this is how we make until today the purchases of our products. So when we couldn't find the US dollars except in the black market, what did we say? No problem, we will figure it out. And it continued like this, and for every problem we found tens of solutions, and in every problem we found actually opportunities after that until the biggest hit came in August 4. I don't remember the name, so I'm going to tell you tons of ammonium nitrate exploded in Beirut City. It was ranked as one of the world's top 5 biggest explosions, non-nuclear explosions ever. And it blew up. And 70% of the city was wiped out. People say I'm afraid to make a phone call because I don't want to sell my product and I don't want to get rejection. Now imagine making a phone call to figure out if the people you love are still alive or not. That is a freaky, scary phone call to have. Yes or no? In the middle of all of this, it's key number 4, which is defining who you are. Because things are going to happen, and one of two things are going to happen. When you are hit, when you go down, when you are lost, when you live in darkness, an autopilot mindset is going to take over. It's either you build this mindset before the problem happens and you are able to stand on your own 2 feet and go in the direction you want, or a different autopilot mindset is going to take over, and it's going to be the one that the environment gave you, your mother gave you, the teachers gave you, your past gave you, your failures gave you, and the limiting beliefs gave you. And it's one of the most dangerous mindsets to have. And in the middle of that explosion, we had to go find our teams. We have to make sure. My family survived. A lot of families did not. My team lost family members. They lost loved ones. Hundreds of people died. Thousands of people were severely injured. And hundreds of thousands of people had to be evacuated. They didn't have a home. They didn't have a business. They didn't have a place to live. We were all the Lebanese were down on our knees. And for the first time, I was living in a darkness, complete darkness. And I lost my way. What happens when you lose your way? You follow the masses. What were the masses doing? They were in riots. So me, I was in riots on the streets, full of anger, full of fear. I wanted to fight the government. I wanted to fight. This is everything we had. We just wanted to fight. And I was following everybody that was marching. And in one moment, one day, I was with my sister, and they were firing live ammunitions on protesters. They were shooting live ammunitions. And I saw one go through immediately into somebody's eye. And I saw him being dragged to the ambulance. And something kicked in me. A voice came in and said, "What are you doing here? Who are you? You don't believe in this. Why are you shouting on the streets? Who's gonna come to rescue you? Your standards say nobody's coming for you. You have to stand up for you. Why are you shouting on the streets? You know it's not the way. Second thing kicked in. And it said, "Jinane, why are you playing a victim? You're not a victim. Other people can be victims, but you are not a victim." And third thing that kicked in, my programming. I've been programming my mind. I've been programming my heart for years. Every morning, every evening, every night, in every situation. This is what I say to myself. I control what I say to myself. And it kicked in that moment. In that moment where this bullet went into this eye, it kicked in. And my programming said, "You are a diamond. You are a leader. I am a fighter. I never give up. I lead. I don't follow. I go for my freedom. My family is my priority. I can do anything I want. I can achieve everything I want. I do not allow anything to stand in my way." My own programming kicked in. And everybody on the street was getting ready to march in. And I held my sister's hand. She was going with them. I held it and I said, "Stop. We're going home." And she said, "No, we have to fight for our freedom." I said, "Yes, I am going to fight for my freedom, and I'm going to build a diamond director's rank in Jinane because this is my freedom." So I went on a call with my team. This is the only words I was telling them. So I told them, guys, how can we turn this? How can we turn this into what we need to achieve? And I told them, this is the reason. This is the reason and not an excuse to fail. This is the reason why we need to do this faster, why we need to succeed bigger. And this is the reason we all learned our lessons to play bigger, because we are playing smaller than we should be playing. In August, the month of the explosion, we had 196 cycles. We came down on our ruby rank. September, we came back to our ruby rank. 3 months later, we gained the emerald rank back. We maintained the emerald rank, I think, for 7 or 8 months, and in February, magic happens. In February, 1,065 cycles kicked into the system, and most of it from my Lebanese leaders. My Lebanese leaders now, they do not have electricity. They have to go live in hotels because it's the only place you can find 24/7 electricity. They don't have gas, so they come all together in one place, one apartment, and they sleep all together because they cannot go everywhere and do live meetings. They plan their meetings based on when they can have electricity and Wi-Fi and when they cannot, and the volume keeps coming up because when the mindset is there, when the dream is there, when everything happens, God damn it, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna go diamond because it's either I do it or die trying. But my father is not gonna stand in line and beg for his medication, and is not gonna stand in line to go inside a hospital. And this is where most of the people now in Lebanon are living. They can have this reality, but it's not us because it's not our standards. And it's a mindset, it's a heart set, it's a decision. And I promise you guys, I promise you, if you control what you say between your ears, thank you. Thank you. Respect to each and every one of you. I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm gonna leave you with this. It's easy, it's feasible. I don't know what your explosion is. You might be going through a heartbreak. You might be going through relationship problems. You might be going through disease. Somebody you love might be sick. Somebody you love might have passed away. You might be sick. You might be going into the winter of your life. And I promise you, it's gonna pass. But during this phase, if you do these 4 steps, during this phase, if you do it, if you know what you say to yourself, if you find the soul in your heart, if you find the power in your mind, there will be a time when you can reach down inside your own soul and let the divinity of it come out if you know how to define who you are. And for us, you are all diamonds, you are all beautiful people. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your story tonight. We love you very much. We believe in you. And we will see you next time on stage. I need to go. Thank you.
Jinane, Abou, Mrad, everyone! Keep it going for it. Was that incredible? What a powerful story of perseverance, of mindset, of staying the course, of reinventing yourself. I love it. I love it.